Have you ever felt like your brain simply shuts down after 2 p.m.? That moment when no matter how hard you try, your focus melts away like ice under the sun, me too. And that led me on an intense 7-day journey testing an alertness protocol reportedly used by CIA agents during operations where sleeping is simply not an option. That's right. The kind of missions where agents must remain absolutely focused even after 20 hours without a single minute of rest. I wanted to find out whether it was possible to apply this method to my everyday routine work, studying, and all those tasks that demand a level of attention that feels impossible to maintain by the end of the day. Let's start with the basics. Everyone knows the classic afternoon coffee boost, that traditional pick-me-up. People rely on to stay focused. But did you know that constant caffeine consumption may actually be sabotaging your mental performance? Right from the start, I need to warn you, what I discovered could completely transform the way you think about fatigue and productivity. That's right. While coffee gives you a temporary boost, it also creates a crash that is just as strong or even worse shortly afterward. The result is a vicious cycle of highs and lows that most people never even notice. That was when I discovered a neural micro-stimulation method reportedly used by elite CIA agents, a technique based on small controlled brain stimuli that helps maintain steady focus without overstimulating the nervous system. During my week-long test, I tried this method and the results were nothing short of shocking. For the first time, my brain seemed to operate at a constant speed without the infamous post-coffee crash. But that was only the beginning. Imagine having to make a life or death decision after nearly 24 hours without sleep. That is the reality of undercover field agents. They do not just endure it, they maintain crystal clear thinking and razor-sharp reasoning. To recreate that experience, I tested a system called uninterrupted focus, a protocol that combines light modulation, tactical breathing, and controlled body temperature adjustments. Now, here's a fact that may completely change the way you think. I always believed I needed a full 8 hours of sleep to perform at my best. I bet you thought the same. But what if I told you there is a biological emergency switch that these agents activate to keep their minds operating at peak performance, even when sleep is nowhere to be found? I discovered that switch a combination of biohacks involving sensory stimulation and breathing techniques, and tested it for an entire week. The results were incredible. My concentration improved even during the hardest hours of the day. Let's take a closer look at these biohacks because they are worth understanding. One of the most powerful is tactical breathing, a technique that regulates your heart rate and optimizes oxygen delivery to the brain. Breathing may seem automatic, but consciously controlling it can completely change your mental state within seconds. Elite agents have known this for years. Another fascinating factor is light modulation. Bright blue light or very dark environments directly affect hormones such as melatonin, the hormone that tells your body when it is time to sleep. By adjusting the lighting in my workspace according to the biological rhythm used by these agents, I was able to maintain a natural state of alertness. It sounds simple, but science shows it is remarkably effective. Before you rush to try all of this, there is one challenge you need to know about breaking old habits. My brain kept craving the usual cup of coffee, the open Facebook tab, and constant distractions. But by applying these techniques, I transformed my routine and experienced long stretches of productivity that I never thought were possible. If you're thinking, this all sounds great, but how can I apply it to an ordinary life instead of a secret mission? Relax. The answer is much simpler than you might imagine. These are small adjustments and quick habits that require neither expensive equipment nor extra hours, just awareness, consistency, and discipline. That reminds me of another fascinating detail. Do you know the 5 biohacking techniques undercover agents use to maintain their cover and stay completely focused under extreme pressure? It is not just about willpower. First comes physiological preparation through strategic sleep and stress response control. Second, they use short breaks for breathing techniques that instantly recharge the brain. Third, they manipulate body temperature to trigger heightened alertness. Yes, both cold and heat play an essential role in this process. Fourth comes controlling your nutrition to avoid blood sugar spikes that throw your metabolism off balance. And fifth, but certainly not least, continuous mental training to strengthen cognitive resilience through practices like mindfulness and high-precision meditation. That list may sound complicated, but the real secret lies in gradual implementation. Start with one or two techniques, then slowly combine them into a personalized routine. Going back to my experiment, once I started following the CIA alertness protocol, I noticed that those sleepy afternoons were replaced by hours when I genuinely felt switched on, ready for any task, capable of making quick decisions without feeling mentally exhausted. Now, let's talk about the numbers. Did you know that intelligence agents often have to sustain intense concentration for more than 16 consecutive hours during operations? That means not only fighting off sleep, but also protecting the mind against constant distractions, a challenge that many of us face just trying to finish a report or prepare for an exam. What surprised me most was discovering that these methods are supported by solid scientific research grounded in neuroscience and human physiology. For example, carefully controlled exposure to blue light in the morning activates receptors that suppress melatonin production, helping the body wake up naturally without relying on chemical stimulants. Another important discovery was the value of individual adaptation. Every person's body responds differently to biohacking techniques, and science continues moving toward personalized protocols designed to maximize each individual's results. Now let's talk about something that almost nobody mentions. What really happens inside your body when you replace caffeine with techniques like tactical breathing and light modulation. During my week-long experiment, besides experiencing greater focus, my nervous system showed far fewer signs of irritability and anxiety, which are common after excessive caffeine consumption. That gave me greater emotional control in stressful situations, something essential for achieving high-performance productivity. But of course, none of this works without commitment. Agents who master these protocols go through intense physical and mental training to develop that level of discipline. I adopted the same mindset to build a daily routine that actually fits real life with work, family, and everything in between. And here's something worth thinking about. If you believe focus is nothing more than willpower, you're mistaken. Simple biological adjustments from your body temperature to the way you look at your computer screen can completely transform your performance. CIA agents and other special operations professionals understand that small details often make the biggest difference. The best part is that you can start today. You don't have to copy everything at once. Pick one technique, test it, observe how your body responds, improve it, and gradually add the others over time. So what changed for me after 7 days? Besides having steady energy, my mind became far less distracted, and I finally felt in control of my own rhythm. My productivity didn't improve for just a day or two. It kept increasing throughout the entire week. If you're ready to take a step toward becoming the best version of yourself mentally and physically, learning and applying these biohacks is the path forward. Now tell me, which of these techniques are you going to try first? Tactical breathing, light control, body temperature adjustment, or maybe the famous biological emergency switch that I tested? Leave your answer in the comments below. Want to develop the focus of a secret agent? Start today. But there's one thing very few people realize. There is no single miracle method. The real secret is combining several of these techniques, intelligently creating a powerful synergy that amplifies the results. Think of it like putting together a puzzle where each piece represents one small adjustment in your lifestyle, and together they reveal the complete picture of your highest level of performance. For example, tactical breathing alone is not enough if you do not adjust the lighting around you to reduce eye strain and keep your circadian rhythm active. In the same way, controlling your body temperature can be a powerful trigger, but only if you also make the most of the sleep you do get. All of these factors interact directly with your brain chemistry, which brings us to another essential point. Have you ever heard of the HPA axis? It is the communication network connecting your hypothalamus, pituitary gland, and adrenal glands, and it plays a central role in the way your body responds to stress. When this system becomes unbalanced, you experience the mental fatigue that slowly destroys both focus and productivity. Elite agents are trained not only to control their external environment, but also to master this internal stress response through biohacking techniques. One of the methods they use, supported by recent scientific research, is known as stress inoculation training, a process that exposes the body to carefully controlled levels of stress, teaching the brain to remain calm and efficient when real chaos strikes. It may sound extreme for everyday life, but even small planned challenges, combined with meditation and controlled breathing, can build the same kind of resilience. Another concept that makes a tremendous difference is metacognitive awareness. In other words, learning to constantly monitor your own mental state. It sounds complicated, but it is simply a matter of daily practice. Elite agents are trained to recognize the exact moment their attention begins to fade, so they can immediately activate a recovery technique, whether that means taking a micro break, doing a breathing exercise, or simply changing their posture or surroundings. Speaking of the environment, did you know that the temperature of your workplace can either reduce or increase your productivity? Studies suggest that an environment between 20 and 22 degrees Celsius provides the best conditions for cognitive performance. Field agents, however, also learn how to use temperature changes, strategically creating bursts of alertness when needed and promoting deep recovery afterward. Another discovery that completely changed my perspective on elite biohacking was the importance of micro-habits, tiny actions that, when combined, create extraordinary results. For example, simply looking away from your computer screen every 20 minutes and focusing on something farther away reduces eye strain and helps maintain concentration for much longer. It may sound almost too simple, but intelligence agencies have included this practice in their training programs for decades to sustain attention during long shifts. Among these micro-habits, another one stood out: strategic hydration. It is not just about drinking water, it is about timing your water intake to support both your body and your brain. The human brain is made up of roughly 75% water, and even mild dehydration, something most people never notice, can significantly reduce focus and slow mental processing. Elite agents carefully monitor their hydration and adjust it according to the demands of each mission. Nutrition is another key factor used by elite professionals and intelligence agents. They rely on nutrients with high cognitive value. Have you ever heard about the essential role of omega-3 fatty acids, magnesium, and B-complex vitamins in brain health? These are not luxury supplements. They are fundamental nutrients that help keep neurotransmitters balanced and neurons functioning at their highest level. During my experiment, I redesigned my diet to include these natural nutrients while eliminating the blood sugar spikes and crashes that directly affect concentration. Combining this nutrition strategy with tactical breathing and light modulation created a level of internal balance I had never experienced before. At this point, you may be thinking, this all sounds too complicated for everyday life. The truth is, every meaningful transformation begins with small steps. Elite agents understand this better than anyone. They train intensely, but they also live ordinary lives between missions using these techniques only when peak performance is required. Another fascinating concept is what they call mental priming, a process of preparing the brain to enter its ideal performance state. I experimented with this by creating a morning routine that included breathing exercises, exposure to bright natural sunlight, and a carefully planned energy-boosting breakfast. The feeling was remarkably similar to the mental activation elite agents seek before beginning a mission. But does this really work for someone like you? Someone who is not trying to survive a covert intelligence mission, but simply wants to become more focused and productive? The answer surprised me. Yes, it does, because the physiological foundation behind this training is universal. Our bodies respond to the same biological signals. What changes is the intensity, the level of control, and the consistency with which the techniques are applied. To give you a real example, just 3 days after starting the protocol, I noticed that my anxiety about tight deadlines had almost disappeared. My stress response became calmer. My reflexes sharper and my thoughts much clearer. My nervous system had entered a state of homeostatic balance, reducing panic and mental distraction. To give you a real example, just 3 days after starting the protocol, I noticed that my anxiety about tight deadlines had almost disappeared. My stress response became calmer. My reflexes sharper and my thoughts much clearer. My nervous system had entered a state of homeostatic balance, reducing panic and mental distraction. Now let's move into something even more fascinating. Neuroplasticity. Elite agents constantly train their brains to adapt to extreme situations by strengthening neural connections. And here's the exciting part: you can stimulate the very same process in your daily life. Focused meditation, cognitive training games, and even rotating the types of tasks you perform all encourage your brain to build stronger neural pathways. Another technique that can make a huge difference, especially in the beginning, is creating mental triggers. Elite agents use them to instantly activate specific performance states. It can be an internal command, a short phrase, or even a subtle gesture that you associate with maximum focus or complete relaxation, depending on what the moment requires. And there is one more important lesson. Sleep, despite what many people believe, is more flexible than we imagine. During my experiment, I introduced a light version of polyphasic sleep, taking short strategic naps throughout the day while respecting my body's needs and avoiding extremes. The result was a remarkable improvement in recovery and mental clarity. It is important to point out that this is not about encouraging sleep deprivation. The goal is to maximize the quality of the sleep you do get while using short strategic recovery periods to keep your nervous system healthy and performing at its best. While we're still talking about focus, one of the most fascinating discoveries I came across was the direct relationship between brain hydration and dopamine release. The neurotransmitter responsible for motivation and reward biohacking techniques that naturally boost dopamine, such as sunlight exposure, moderate exercise, and meditation, create a powerful positive cycle where your brain actually wants to stay focused because it feels rewarding. Now let's move into practical habits you can start using today. One of the simplest yet most effective is the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 7 seconds, then exhale slowly for 8 seconds. This method reduces anxiety while increasing mental alertness, making it one of the breathing tools used by strategic operators to remain calm under pressure. Another powerful habit is controlled cold exposure. Short cold showers activate the sympathetic nervous system, increasing adrenaline levels and boosting energy. Elite agents often use this technique to wake up quickly and eliminate drowsiness, especially during periods of sleep restriction. And of course, we cannot overlook the incredible influence of nutrition on the brain. High doses of caffeine may produce temporary results, but they can also disrupt the nervous system. Advanced biohacking strategies often rely on natural nootropics, such as turmeric, ginkgo biloba, and rhodiola, to enhance memory, focus, and mental endurance, while producing few, if any, unwanted side effects. During my experiment, I introduced these natural supplements while reinforcing the idea that the body performs far better with steady, ongoing support than with sudden, temporary stimulation. The result was a consistent level of mental performance that lasted throughout the day, completely different from the unpredictable highs and crashes caused by coffee. You may be wondering, does this work for everyone? The honest answer is yes, as long as it is adapted to the individual. Every body and every mind responds differently, which is why listening to your own physiology is essential when building a protocol that truly works for you. Field agents must follow strict routines because their lives depend on them. In your case, the goal is much simpler. Identify the techniques that work best for your lifestyle and gradually build a routine that respects both your needs and your limits. Another valuable lesson I learned was the importance of protecting your circadian rhythm. Gradually exposing yourself to natural light in the morning, reducing artificial light at night, avoiding screens before bedtime, and maintaining consistent sleep schedules are fundamental habits that support sustained focus and energy throughout the day. If you think biohacking is only for scientists or technology enthusiasts, think again. These simple science-based principles are used by Olympic athletes, high-performance entrepreneurs, and even secret agents operating in some of the world's most demanding environments. What makes these techniques so powerful is that they are built upon the science of the human body, turning what once seemed impossible into something entirely achievable. By the end of those 7 days, I never looked at productivity the same way again. Of course, nothing about the process was magical. It required discipline, effort, and constant learning, but the benefits were so significant that every moment invested was worth it. One passage from an elite training manual has stayed with me ever since. It says, "The true power does not come from forcing your body beyond its limits. It comes from understanding yourself, adapting to every situation, and activating your inner resources at exactly the right moment." And it is precisely this knowledge combined with these techniques that unlocks the true meaning of uninterrupted focus. Let me quickly share a checklist of 5 simple habits you can start testing today to upgrade your focus inspired by the daily routines of CIA agents. 1 practice, the 4-7-8 tactical breathing technique 3 times a day, especially during stressful moments. 2. Adjust the lighting around you according to the time of day. Use bright blue enriched light in the morning and warm, dim light at night to support your natural circadian rhythm. 3. Take short cold showers in the morning to activate your nervous system and increase alertness. 4. Take strategic breaks every 20 minutes. Look away from your screen, stretch your body, and give your brain a chance to recover. 5. Build your meals around brain-supporting nutrients such as omega-3 fatty acids, B-complex vitamins, and magnesium while avoiding large spikes in blood sugar. Start with 1 or 2 of these habits and gradually add the others as they become part of your routine. Before we finish, remember that focus and productivity are never the result of a single trick. They come from the combination of many factors, and biohacking is one of the most powerful ways to align your body and mind toward the same goal. If you want more productive days, steady energy, and a sharper mind, these are techniques worth exploring. After all, if secret agents from the world's top intelligence agencies use them, why shouldn't we apply what works to improve our own everyday lives? Now, it's your turn. Choose one of these biohacks, put it into practice, and pay close attention to how your body responds. The best measure of success is the improvement you experience for yourself. If you want to learn more, have questions, or would like to share your experience, leave a comment below. Let's exchange ideas and help each other become better every day. And once again, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like. It helps us bring you even more life-changing content. Remember, secret agent level focus is not a gift. It is a skill that can be trained and developed by anyone willing to practice consistently. Let's take this journey together and hack your mind and body so you can become the very best version of yourself. Stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next video.